Well, let's see. It looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 folks who are not staff members. So I'll wait like 1 more minute and then we can get started with anyone's questions. We don't have a specific agenda for tonight, just, touch and base, follow-up questions, any concerns and things for the good of the council that you would like to let us know. So give it a, it's just 7 o'clock right now, so I'll give it just a minute or so. You're looking good there, Clay. You're missing somebody. Okay. All righty. I think we can go ahead and get started. I know it's later in the evening and folks want to get ready for school and whatnot. Welcome to our town hall meeting. I'm just here to answer any questions, give any updates that people are looking for, and answer any concerns. So go ahead, and if you have something that you want to talk about, either if you're on the video, if you want to raise your hand or put something into the chat, we can work on trying to answer that. Okay, so I think we've got some, Amy's looking for an update for the Johnson City Service Center. We have indeed made an offer on a location. It's actually in Maine, New York. And if you're out there, it was a wedding center. I think it was called the Maine Event, 2626 Main Street, Maine, I think.
2626 Route 26.
2626 Route 26. It's actually beautiful space. It has 2 large rooms, both that can host large events. It has video and audio equipment already all set up in it. It has a commercial kitchen. It's just it's an amazing, and it's beautifully done. It was just holding weddings and things like that, and unfortunately due to COVID the owners couldn't maintain it. It also is on 2.5 acres, and it has a beautiful area that is manicured, and also it has a walking path that goes through behind the building, and it's an adorable little town if anyone's been there, and it has a 60-person parking lot. So it has everything that we're looking for at an unbelievable price. So we're excited to get in there. We believe that it will close, the closing will be in May, and then we'll be moving in. So it's exciting. Yeah, if you're driving by in that area, I hear that Route 26 is a common route that people often take. And so it's right there and you can drive by it, check it out. So I think that maybe Christina can give us some updates about, it looks like volunteer appreciation is in full swing.
Absolutely. So hopefully everyone can hear me okay. I have my earbuds in and there's a little something happening to the side of me. So hopefully we're all good there. But yes, Volunteer Appreciation Month is the month of April, and Volunteer Girl Scout Leader Day, Volunteer Day is April 22nd, which is Thursday. And in honor of that, we are going to have a live stream volunteer recognition, volunteer appreciation dinner, as opposed to our 6 dinners that we typically have. So we're very excited. We have throughout the month of April, been delivering some of our highest awards in person and surprising some folks. So we captured videos of those surprises, and we'll be streaming those along with announcing some of our other awardees across our 26 counties. And it's shaping up to be really great. We're excited to have everyone there. Some folks have received a little surprise in their email over the last couple of weeks as well, and just shaping up to be a really great event. We hope that everyone can join in and give some special shouts out to the service units and the volunteers who have been recognized by their peers for the highest level of Girl Scout GSUSA awards. So board approved and super great. I hope everyone can join us on Thursday. Of course, it is also Earth Day. So we do have some live programming happening for girls simultaneously. They do overlap by about a half hour, and great things for everyone. So maybe get your girls set up with some Earth Day goodness and then hop on your own and do a little something for yourself.
Awesome. Any questions about joining our fun event on Thursday? I'm looking forward to seeing some happy faces. I'm sure that the information is also on our website if you're looking to see if you can join. I know I also invited Karen and hopefully some other board members. I see Mike on here can attend as well, because it's always fun. Mike usually attends the event that's in his area, so it's good to have you guys here.
Awesome. You know, Julie, if you don't mind, one thing I just thought of, and I apologize, is we did have some folks asking, because we are doing a live stream as a Facebook meeting call, however you want to refer to it. And we know that there are some folks that don't have access to Facebook, and in those service units, they're actually using their service unit Zoom account to stream their screen, so that everyone in their service unit can participate in the event, even if, and then there are a couple that are smaller service units that are getting together in person, but that is one of the ways some folks are hosting it on their own.
Oh, that's great. That's a great idea. Love that. So some of the other questions that came up and when we were talking about having the meeting, and I see that we have, I think Badger's, there she is. Badger's on board, is probably talking about how we're approaching summer camp. I know that we opened up summer camp on Monday, and I know that Comstock was pretty much full in 3 or 4 hours, and we've had lots of requests, lots of concerns about people getting to camp, and we're doing our best to address that. So Liz, I'm going to turn it over to you to give updates of how we're addressing that and how we have to work with camp this year.
Right. So as you probably know, we're at 50% capacity right now for all of our camps. And that's based on the current guidelines that we have. I see Becca is here too, so I don't know if she wants to weigh in on permitting. But we actually have not received any guidance from New York State yet on what we should be doing for camp. So as we move closer to camp, we get just a little bit more nervous every day that we don't hear from New York State. Of course, I would love to have more kids at camp. That's our ultimate goal, is to have every girl that is in Girl Scouts in our council have the opportunity to go to summer camp. That's why I work here, honestly, to get your girls onto camp properties. But unfortunately, as I mentioned, we don't know if the state is going to allow us to do this. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. We're moving forward with the plans that we think are going to be appropriate for the permitting that we have. And we're hopeful. So the other thing that weighs into this decision with our numbers is staffing. So I was out and about today. I sort of went around town and did some errands earlier. Every single place I went into had a big sign in the front, now hiring. Every place that I went to, every restaurant that I went to, there's a pizza place down the street from me, Pies Guys. They're super popular. They were closed all weekend because they don't have any staff members to make pizza. So the issue, in addition to New York State's regulations and our lack of them, is that we are struggling for staff. We're struggling even for your basic counselor staff. And usually every year we have a ton of applicants. This year we have next to nothing. So we are a little bit concerned that if we open up more spaces for more girls, as you know, safety activity checkpoints and ratios and keeping girls safe and having fun and all of that, that comes into play too. And if we can't find the staff to run our camps, then we're going to be in a tight spot. spot. So I know it's frustrating. I know that, you know, you're used to having spots available and being able to come to camp. We never fill. Honestly, I've been with the council going into my 6th year, and every year that I've been here, we've never filled summer camp before. Certain weeks have filled, and you know, the Harry Potter week is always really popular. But camps have never been at capacity, and I anticipate that by this summer we'll be at 100% capacity for what we're offering. So it's a big need. Childcare is a big need. Getting your kids back and socializing them with other kids is a huge need. My 9-year-old son, was so excited to go back to school, and he's not really a school kind of guy, but he just wanted to hang out with his friends, and he wanted to be social and see other people. And we get that. I want to see all you guys in person at some point as well. So it's been tough to be home and to not have that experience. But even though it's sort of slowly killing us every day that we can't open more spots right now, if we can, if it's possibility, if the permitting allows us, if staffing allows us, if just being generally safe allows us, we will open up more spots. I'm not making any promises. I want to see it, of course, but I know that you know we're doing our best for your girls. And that's really all that we can do at this point. So, and if we're not able to open up more camp spots, we're hoping to run robust outdoor programming in the fall as well. Fall is gorgeous, of course, that's why we all live in central New York. So we can hopefully do some troop corps and some overnights and some sort of like more campy, summer campy things into the fall months as well. So we really appreciate your flexibility and your patience. We're trying to sort of move things around and see where we can put more spots and, you know, move kids and that kind of thing. So stick with us, and we're going to do the best that we can to get your girls onto the camp properties.
Absolutely. Thanks, Liz. Also, just a reminder from Wendy, if you can't use your summer camp voucher this summer, we can extend it for another year. So I know that doesn't answer the concerns about this summer, but we're really trying to provide as much flexibility as we can. So.
And I know that cadets have been, you know, the cadet spots at Comstock have filled, but we have cadet spots available at Amahami and at Trefoil. You know, part of being a Girl Scout is trying new things, and we're trying to grow girls of courage. So if you have never been to Amahami, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
If you've never been to Trefoil, the second you step onto the property and get out of your car and smell trefoil, you will never want to leave it. So, you know, it's a great opportunity for you to try new things, to, you know, get outside your comfort zone. You know, if you're a cadet and you're like, oh man, I really wanted to go to Magic and Mischief at Comstock, and that's the only week I wanted. I can guarantee you that you're going to have fun no matter what camp that you go to. And we have cadet spots available at, like I said, Amahami and Trefoil. Becca, you're not doing cadet. Are you doing cadet camps, day camp? Yep. Yes, and there's day camps available for cadets as well. And those come with transportation from Destiny USA even. So there are opportunities. All the spaces are not filled. I think, you know, flexibility and a willingness to try new things comes into play with this as well.
Hey, Liz, is the marksmanship sessions, are they all filled at Amahami?
Oh, goodness.
Last I checked, there were a few, one of them was completely full, and there were a few spots left in another one, but that was this morning. So.
Yeah, that's very popular. So if you have a kiddo that's interested in learning those skills, hop on there, because I saw lots of folks jumping in on those, which is going to be our first year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the second session still has 5 left.
Okay.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Can you repeat, Becca?
I'm sorry, Becca.
Yeah, the first session for Get on Target is sold out, but the second session still has 5 spots.
Oh, great. Okay, great.
Becca, do you have your hand up for a reason?
Yes, I do. I just have like a couple numbers I want to throw out there to sort of support your statement. So in addition to obviously our resident camps operating at 50% capacity, there is also a significant increase in demand for summer camps. I just want to share some numbers. So at Camp Hoover this year, within the first 24 hours that registration opened, 80 girls signed up for day camp. Compared to 2020, in 2020, during the first 24 hours of registration, 14 girls signed up for day camp. So that's almost 6 times as many girls signing up within the first 24 hours. I also pulled Comstock's numbers. Comstock's numbers aren't as dramatic. But this year, within the first 24 hours, 217 girls registered for resident camp at Comstock. And in 2020, within the first 24 hours, 181 girls registered for resident camp at Comstock. So it's still 30 more girls than last year. And like Liz mentioned before, that's on top of us already operating at 50% capacity, which, like Liz mentioned, is a state regulation, and we have not heard anything yet from the state otherwise. Right now, we're sort of going off of the 2020 temporary residence permit COVID restrictions, which automatically right off the bat says no bunk beds, which at Comstock, especially right off the bat, cuts our capacity to 50%. So we're still waiting on those numbers with eager anticipation. I refresh my email every day, just hoping to hear from the health department. And I know that I personally wrote to my local assemblymen regarding this. I encourage everyone else to do the same. Who knows, power in numbers. But those are just, like I said, some numbers to throw out there to support Liz's statements.
Thank you, absolutely. And also, you know, every camp is in a different county and they also have different regulations. So it's a lot to keep in track of. And then Pennsylvania has different rules for what their people can do. You know, so there's a lot that we're keeping track of, and our team is really on top of it. So also want to remind you, thank you, Sarah, that early bird registration is open and we have some great incentives this year. So don't forget to look at that. Let's see. Troop, there's a question about how troop meetings can work. Christina, if you're there, or someone else who can answer it. Not exactly, maybe in person or something, I'm not exactly sure, just how troop meetings can work.
I was looking to see if I could see the question to get a little more insight into it. How troop meetings can work with regards to COVID?
I'm guessing, yes.
Presuming. So what we shared out for April 1 is that in-person meetings and events that are indoors can be up to 25 people based on a 25% occupancy of the space that is available for use. We did keep it a little bit more conservative than what the state is sharing for people and recommending, just because with schools opening back up to in-person learning 5 days a week and everything, we kind of want to go a little bit more slowly in how we do things. And so still requiring the masks that you're required to use every place you go, still requiring social, I should say physical distancing, right? So being spaced out, using masks. We are still not encouraging a lot of eating and food consumption as we go through everything. So being mindful and following the same guidelines that you are in every place you go. You know, you go to a restaurant and for the most part, you're going with your family, your people, your pod. And so we're really looking at that same sort of thing. If you are going to do something where people are consuming food, we would recommend that you be extra spaced out, because the girls are going to have to take their masks off. For outdoor activities, up to about 50 people is what we're saying. But of course, you know, if you're looking at something and the space that you're using ensures that everyone's going to be spaced out more, you can always fill out that activity application. We are asking for activity applications for anything outside of the troop meeting at this point. Just so that we can work with the volunteer to make sure that they've considered all the safety checkpoints that they need to during this interim guidance that is now kind of becoming our regular guidance. But during this interim guidance, so we're just really looking to work alongside partnering with volunteers to make sure that it's safe and that we've considered everything. If you're doing a meeting in your front yard, backyard, we are asking that you go through and utilize the home safety checklist. If you go to our website and you type in home safety checklist, I know Sarah, I think, is just about to go and grab the link for that and put it in the chat log. Super awesome, thanks. And so you can look at that checklist and go through it on your own to self-select whether or not this is a good fit for you, or maybe this isn't the best option for you. Because when you contact your staff support person, and the person that partners for your area, they're going to want to come and visit and just make sure that everything is in line for you to have those meetings in your front yard, backyard. If you have additional adults in your home, then they're going to need to have a background check. We're going to want proof of insurance, because anytime you do anything, just like when you drive with girls in your vehicle, your auto insurance is your first line of defense for insurance, and our Girl Scout insurance is supplementary. The same goes when you're meeting in your front yard, backyard, at your home. So we do work with you again to make sure that's a best fit, and it's a good and safe for you and for everyone else involved. So I think hopefully that answers the question, but if I missed something, just put it in the chat and I can respond back that way too.
Thanks, Christina, our safety expert. There was also, we wanted to make sure we noted that when regards to merchandise, Ray, that there is bridging material available, and also there are camp supplies available, and you're putting that we can reach out to. What about the bridging? Does that go through Judy as well?
Actually, I'm ready to talk about that. There's a couple different
Okay.
ways. Obviously, the stores are open now. If everybody doesn't know that, we are open in Cicero from 9 to 6, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then the first Saturday of every month from 9 to 1. And then in Horseheads, we're open from 10 to 6, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're closed down from 1 to 2 for Judy to take a lunch. And we're also open every Saturday, the first Saturday of every month from 9 to 1 there also. In the Johnson City area, if you're looking to get merchandise, you can actually email or just take a look. Email us at store@gsnypen.org, and Jess will actually arrange to meet you with the merchandise. So there is a way to get some merchandise down that way. So bridging, yeah, we can get anything you want. I mean, we're open, we're ready. And the camp merchandise, just a little bit more about the camp merchandise. There are some bundles that are together, a camp shirt, a pennant, and a camp patch. They're going for $19. And that's why you would email Judy for those bundles. So there's a lot of good merchandise there. I saw some questions about the final cookie goal. We did not actually meet our final cookie goal. We were a little bit off. But we had a great season. The per girl average was huge. It was a 207 or 208. But we did really well for what we were working with. And as far as donation goes, we ended up getting about 24,600 packages donated. So on Thursday, we were actually going to be at the fairgrounds donating cookies to the workers who are helping with the vaccinations and anybody who's getting vaccinated there, on top of donating to Meals on Wheels and first responders.
There's a question here. Well, first of all, I wanted to make sure we shared also, Ray, that we are sending out a post cookie season survey that you're working on. If you didn't already send it out, you are planning to, correct?
Yes, we are planning on sending that out. We finished up the survey today. I can share a link here, and then we are also going to share it on our Facebook pages and get it out on our social media, and then follow up with an email, probably in the newsletter, if not before then.
Awesome, thank you. Just to recognize how difficult this year was, to ask about things going forward, and how we can best proceed for next year.
Correct. Any suggestions are welcome.
And then we have a question from Kathy. In my troop, a few girls earned the max number of vouchers. We are planning to take a trip to Hershey Park this year. That will be fully funded by the troop. How can my girls use up their vouchers? Can they be used for trips with their own family?
Yes, and anything that is an adventure, we can use the vouchers for. There is a jot form that is out. I'm not sure if everybody's received it or seen it yet, but there is a jot form that reimbursement can be for those adventures.
Awesome, thank you. And then the other question is, the troops that chose Roseland Water Park, why are they not receiving a ticket from last year instead of the voucher, as the ticket costs more than $20? And I don't know the answer to that.
That was
Ray, it's Wendy. I'm pretty certain Katie handled that, and I think Roseland, they called us and they canceled.
Yes.
We were not. So yeah, that whole thing was completely, the kibosh was put on it by that organization. We were hoping that we could still get tickets again, but uh, that didn't work.
Yes.
That's why we had to substitute it.
Okay. Other questions? I think that that's kind of the list that we had going forward. We have our jot form, the survey out there, and it looks like, thank you, the safety checklist is out there. Other questions, other concerns folks want to share?
I should say too, we would very much, we'd like to get more tickets. Not every park that we wanted to work with, because there are a number of parks, wanted to allow us to negotiate a number of tickets. So when we buy them, we try to buy them in bulk, and we can usually get them a little less than if you were able to get them yourself. And this year, just nobody wanted to commit to a certain number of tickets, and so it kind of threw everything off. And that's really why we had to do vouchers instead. We'd prefer to actually get group tickets and save you money and make it into a big group adventure, but yeah, COVID changed things quite a bit this year, as you know.
Liz, do you have your hand up on purpose?
I'm actually, Sue Stukas is in my brain, I think, because I was actually going to address that question. So thank you, Sue. We are actually in the process. So if you had a rollover from last year, and if you've been in your Double Knot account recently, you may see that there's like a MISC credit. If there's a MISC credit in your account for $50, that was your deposit from last year, which we applied. So we spent a lot of time applying these payments last Friday and over the weekend. So everybody who had a deposit got rolled over. So that's what that is for. And then now that everybody's registration is moved to their new registration, what we've been doing is deleting the old registration. And now that like your new registration is real, unlike last year's, which was fake because we canceled it, and all the money is moved over, now we can start applying the cookie vouchers. So our data team, Chris and Cortland, they're awesome people, and they have a huge spreadsheet of everybody that's earned cookie credits and adventure vouchers and all the things. They're really good at data. They're really good at managing this, and they are in the process of applying everybody's camp credits to the Double Knot accounts. So I hope I don't speak out of turn, and if anyone's on the call, you can certainly correct me, but I think they're just going to start at the top of that spreadsheet and go down, and they're going to apply that camp credit across the board. So you'll see, Sue, you should see $150 right into your account. That's a miscellaneous credit into your account, etc. Oh, Chris is on the call. Fantastic. So she says the 2020 camp credits have started to be applied. Yes, and there's a lot of them. So it's going to take probably 1 to 2 weeks or so for you to see your credits. With regards to the $50 deposit, if you paid the deposit and you earned a lot of credits, enough to cover your whole camp experience, we're going to refund you that $50 deposit, because why should you spend your money on something that you've earned? So that's going to be applied as well, but it's a process. So we appreciate your patience. If you're feeling a little bit nervous and you want to just reach out, feel free to reach out to us. You can email summercamp@gsnypenn.org, or you can give us a call, or you can go on Facebook, whatever you prefer, however you want to reach us, feel free. But we are applying them. We keep track. Chris is very good at her job. It just takes a little bit of time because she's just the one person. And Cortland, I think Cortland maybe is involved as well. So thank you, Sue. That's that. Any questions about that, camp credits and things like that?
Well, there was a question from Amanda about what the protocol for COVID screening will be at summer camp.
Oh, got it. So we obviously are not going to be requiring vaccinations because children are not getting vaccines. So we are highly encouraging staff members to get their vaccines. It's not mandated under the emergency order. We can't mandate vaccines, but we will strongly encourage that staff members get their vaccine. We will also be requiring a negative COVID test within 72 hours of your child coming to camp. And so that is going to be something that, we are hoping should be relatively easy to do, and we'll keep everyone safe knowing that you likely don't have COVID when you come to camp. When you get to camp, we're going to be taking temperatures. We're going to be asking you the screening questions. You know, if you go back to work, if you go to school. I know I have to fill out a JOT form every day for my kiddo to get on the bus and go to school. So it's the same basic questions. Do you have a fever? Have you been in contact with somebody who's positive? Can you taste things, like that sort of thing? We'll take your temperature just like they do at school, and that's it. You know, if you do have a temperature, or if you have, you know, symptoms of COVID while you're at camp or prior to coming to camp, we will troubleshoot that with our health supervisors. We have nurses and EMTs and Army medics and all sorts of people helping us out this summer with our health protocols. So we do have a policy for that as well. So for day camp, how often will we require a negative COVID test? Just the once. And every day will be monitored. You know, for symptoms, every day before your child gets on the bus at Destiny, you know, we'll ask you those questions. We'll take your child's temperature. If they're cool, they'll get on the bus, come to camp with us. If we see any COVID symptoms while they're at camp, of course, we're going to call parents right away and you know, troubleshoot that as it comes up. Oh goodness.
About 16-year-olds who have their vaccine, Vicki was wondering, do they need to have a COVID test? And then if ambassadors are 60 and plus and get vaccinated, can they share lodging?
Those are really great
Yeah,
questions.
I'm not sure if we have the answer yet.
And yeah, I'm not going to commit to an answer about that because I didn't. Oh, Becca's raising her hand. She may, I don't know if I want you to commit to an answer to this yet. I actually didn't realize that the administration was going to be lowering the age to 16. I thought it was just going to be 18 and over. So that's a little bit of a new piece of information for us. But Becca, looks like you have something to say.
Yeah, I also just want to add a big old asterisk next to everything that Liz is saying, that all of this is pending guidance from the health department. Like if the health department tells us on June 21st that we have to do something else entirely in order to get our children's camp certification, that's just the way the cookie's going to crumble, pun intended.
And also in addition to that is kind of looking at what the difference would be for a resident camp versus overnight trips, because they're two different things and they involve different pods and ways for people to be gathering and participating and all that jazz. So there are variances there too. So lots of asterisks. Is that even a word?
And Becca, you know, Becca hit the nail on the head. These are things that, based on the guidance and what we've seen over the last year, we all sat down as a group and we typed it up and we're like, yes, this looks pretty solid. That could all change. It could change next week. It could change in June. We just don't know what's going to happen. Yes, asterisks all around, I think. So very good. Absolutely.
The price chopper question regarding the sales, those are supporting our sister council in Western New York. We don't yet
Eastern
have
New York. Eastern, not Western.
I'm sorry. in Eastern New York, I apologize. Oh my goodness. And we don't have an update yet. We may not be receiving any funds from those sales, and just supporting our sister council as they have not been able to have the sales at the level that they had hoped, and they are very much struggling. So I will provide updates to that as soon as we hear. They're still in the middle of, they're not in the middle, they're towards the end of their sale, I believe. But yes, I'm aware that there are cookies in Price Chopper. We are not selling those cookies. We agreed to allow them to do that as they had no booths this year at all. They weren't allowing that. So
I want to add to that, just so people know, if we do get some money that comes back from that, you should know that they're not being sold. Like we wouldn't get $5 back. We wouldn't get a complete amount. And so for every box of cookies, you know, the revenue is split in a couple of different ways. If a girl sells a box, then of course, you know, everybody earns on that box. But we purchased a lot of cookies this year that were not paid for at all. So, you know, and those are we're donating cookies that we paid for. So it's a cost. So if by any chance, we don't know if we're getting money or not at this point, but if we do get something, it's a fraction of a box. So it's not we're not getting $5 a box. And if we do, we will likely put that toward the cost of the product that we donated. So because that was a large cost, and it's highly unlikely that will cover our costs if it comes through. So as Julie said, we really don't know at this point what's happening, but when we know more, she'll update us.
Absolutely. Look at those cute kids in the background. Other questions that folks have?
I have my hand raised again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Unless there's questions, I'm just going to keep talking. I feel like there's so many new crazy things going on that I just want to tell everyone about it. So I do have my hand raised because I want to give everybody an update on international trips because it's cool and interesting and exciting. And if you don't have any questions, like I said, I'm just going to keep talking. So what we're doing is we are postponing our Italy-Greece 2021 tour until 2022. So if you have a girl who's going to be a cadet or a 12-year-old, a cadet or higher and 12, they have to be 12, who wants to go to Italy and Greece in the summer of 2022, I'm reopening that trip. So just get in contact with me. I'll put my email address in the chat and I'll send you the link and you can look at the itinerary. It's a very cool itinerary. We're going to Rome and Florence. We're going on a night ferry from Italy to Greece. And then we're going to the Acropolis and we're doing all sorts of crazy cool stuff. It's a 10-day trip. And so that's open. And then we're also going to Costa Rica. So it's a Costa Rica trip. We're going to see some volcanoes and crocodiles and rainforest. There's zip lining involved. That one's going to be a super cool trip. It's about 10 days as well. That's actually going to be semi-concurrent with the Italy-Greece trip. So you will have to make a choice whether you want to go do a little bit more history if you're into Greek mythology, if you love pasta, come with us on that trip. If you are more into adventure and sloths and crocodile river cruises and things like that, you want to go to Costa Rica. And then in 2023, we're opening our international trip to Japan. We have 65 folks that have signed up to go to Japan with us, and we have about 20 more spots to fill. So if your girl is going to be 12 years old or a cadet or higher in the summer of 2023, and she loves Japan, I'll send you the link. Just email me and I'll send the link. I'm also going to host some more informational nights soon. So it'll be a Zoom meeting just like this. Talk about the trip, the itinerary, talk about the group. EF Tours is an awesome and cool, pretty reputable, not pretty reputable, but actually reputable group that is going on this tour with us. They're great to work with. They have great customer service. And there's plenty of time to plan and fundraise through cookie sales, fall products, and other money earning activities. So if you're interested in any of those things, just let me know. I'll send you a link and it's going to be awesome. So what a better time. I feel like we're all a little bit more connected virtually in the pandemic era now. And what great fun it would be to actually be personally connected by going on some of these trips. So feel free to drop me a line. I'll put my email in the chat here if you want to go on a trip with us. That's it for now until I think of something else.
Yeah, okay. Other questions, other things that people want to share? Looking for some camp counselors. If you have anybody who's qualified and they're interested.
So we need camp counselors 100%. We also need nurses. I need a nurse for 3 weeks at Comstock in July, and I need a nurse for a couple of weeks at Trefoil as well. I think cooks are good. Becca, who do you need down there? I think you're good. Becca just needs counselors, and counselors for work day camp can be 16, 17, 18. So if you know a girl that's a senior ambassador, if they're 16, 17, it's great on a resume. If they do a great job, we'll write them great reference letters for college. So it's a great job for a 16, 17-year-old. We do need folks to ride the bus as well. So if you're worried about your girl not having a ride, we do need folks to come on the bus from Destiny to camp and then back at the end of the day as well. So, transportation can be worked out. So thank you for whoever said that, Julie. We do need staff. We still need staff. So help us out.
Lots of fun. Lots of fun. All right. I'll let it sit for a second and see if there's any other questions that come up in the chat. And if not, I will say good evening and hope everybody has a wonderful evening. All righty. All right, everybody. Well, we'll touch base the next time. Oh, and Liz is sharing the different trips, and I am very excited because my kiddo and I are going to Japan. So we want to go. I don't know if we're waitlisted. But we're excited to go. And so hopefully we'll see lots of folks on that. And that is a bucket list for my kiddo. So, all right. If there are no other questions, of course, if anything else comes up, reach out to me at listening@gsnipen.org or the other team members who put their emails out, and have a wonderful evening. And I hope if you're in the North Country that you do not get 9 inches of snow tomorrow, because that would be horrible. So good luck for those folks who are in the North area. All right, take care. Bye, everybody.
Good
Peace
night.
out, Girl Scouts.